205. All right.
Non puedo varan. Mama oyata e adere. Hebai oye hindam atagodak prashna unat.
Yes. Please put yourself on mute. Ushanka, please put yourself on mute. All right, let me start the session. Good afternoon, everyone, once again, and let's start the session. Before going to start, I just wanted to confirm that is there any question from the last session that we have discussed? Anybody has any questions? Yes, Shahad, you can ask a question. You said, yes, sir, I have a question. Sahad? Okay, the duty code that you explained yesterday. Okay, so what is the question? That means you wanted to know from the duty code. Yes, there is one more duty code, which is a GS duty code, which will be provided, and the full form is General Sales Agent. So that's another duty code, which is not commonly used by the travel agent. It is very rare that that the travel agents use this GS duty code. Okay. It indicates that what type of access level you have in your Amadeus username. That means, suppose my username is Naveen underscore Mishra. Now, my duty code is provided as an AS duty code. So what is the role of my duty code? What is the role that I can create a PNR, I can issue the PNR, I can do whatever things that can be done through in the PNR that I do. But once it comes to the report pulling, suppose my manager asks me that, can you just tell me how many PNRs gets issued today in my entire office? So then I should have a SU duty code, because AS duty code and AGS duty code will not have the rights to pull out those reports. Just because of this, they get a SU duty code. Rest remains the same. SU duty code can have the rights to create a PNR, issue the PNR. There's no issue. Okay. Is that clear, Shahad? All right. Anybody has any questions from the previous day? Please feel free to ask me. Anybody else have any questions? All right, and then I would request everybody to please put yourself on mute. Ushanka, will you please put yourself on mute? I can see you have muted yourself. Ushanka. Okay, let me put my from my end. Okay, can we start the session? I can see Fazila has asked me a question that you need to send a link for today's session. Fazila, is Fazila present in the session? Fazila
Yeah,
Jamil?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
already there. Yeah.
okay, okay. So there's no separate link to join for each day. So the same link which you have received on your registered email, that will be used to join for the rest of the days. So it's a single link which will be sent once you register, and then you got a confirmation link. Have you received a confirmation link? You use the same link to join the session. There is no separate link. All right, Fazila?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
thank you.
all right, and for the others as well, there is no separate link. The same link will be used. Okay, let's start the session. I hope there is no questions from the previous day. I can see that all of you have said that no questions. Now, till yesterday, we had discussed about how to find out the timetable. Okay, yes or no? Till the time we have discussed how to find out the timetable entries. Now we can find out the timetable entries with date and time. Then we can find the timetable entries with an airline specific as well. Okay, that if I want to search any airline specific search result, that can also be done through the TN command. Now, I told you yesterday that if you do TN command and if you display the timetable of any sector, then what type of carriers will you see? What type of carriers do you see generally? The participating carriers or a non-participating carriers, or both? Quickly answer. Yes. So you get the both type of carriers. That means participating carriers and a non-participating carrier. Okay. So here it is mentioned, and the display will always be a 1 week period. Okay. Now moving towards the next Amadeus Air bookings, that is related to availability. Now here yesterday we did TN and the date 10th of March, Delhi to not Delhi, it's Colombo to Singapore. I would request everybody to please put yourself on mute. Ushanka, please put yourself on mute. Ushanka, you always put yourself on mute. Do you have any questions? Ushanka? Ushanka Chaminda? All right. Here, if I do that TN command, so do you see anywhere the seat availability? That means whether in the SQ469, is there any seat available or not? Do you see here? No. No. Just to see the availability, the seat availability, now we are moving towards the topic availability command. Okay. Let me first of all record this.
Recording in progress.
All right. So if we are going to start with the topic availability, what will happen with the availability? So availability will always display you at least one seat for all the flights for the particular sector which you are looking for. And how do you search that one? You simply need to change the command. I'm just going to do the same here. I'm going to run the same command, which means, but instead of typing TN, I am going to change this as an AN. So AN stands for availability neutral. What does this stand for? Availability neutral. Okay. Is that clear? Availability neutral. So yesterday TN stands for what? Timetable neutral. So similarly, AN stands for availability neutral. Now here, you have to either specify the specific date that you are looking for availability, or you can simply enter the specific sector and then you can search the availability. Okay, so let's type here. I wanted to see the availability for 10th of March from Colombo to London. Now, this will show me the available seats for the all airlines. Now, why all airlines? Because I have not specified any airline specific. So now see what happens here. Now see here, the AN command displays you the Amadeus availability, and this is used through AN till London Heathrow. That is the airport name. Okay, that is the London Heathrow Airport, and this airport is in which country? Great Britain. Okay, now this is 10. That 10 shows the advance purchase date. So today is 28th of February. So if you add 10 days more, so the 10th of March is the travel date. So which shows and which means that you are searching your availability 10 days advance. Okay, so your travel days is in the next 10 days. That is the reason it shows here 10. Let's take an example. If it is showing here as an 11, one again unmuted. Shanka Chaminda, do you have any questions? You always unmute yourself. Do you have any question? Shanka Chaminda? All right, I think he is doing by mistake. Now, here. So if it is showing here as an 11, so tell me the travel date. If it shows here the 11, so what will be the travel date? 11th of March. Now, everybody understood? Now, beside that, what does this FR stands for? FR stands for the day of the 10th of March. So what is the day on 10th of March? That will be Friday. Okay. And here the date is showing 10th of March. Now, beside that, do you see this 000 hours? What does it stand for, 00 hours? It means that the first flight is whatever the flight which is showing you at line number 1 is the first flight on 10th of March when the time strikes at midnight 00 hours. Okay. All right. Is that clear to you, everyone? Yes, no? So this is the timing of the, that, which means that 10th March. When does this 10th March happen? The clock strikes at the midnight, and this shows the 10th March. Okay. Now, you can see here line number 1. So the first flight which is displaying you here, can anyone tell me what is the departure time for the first flight, UL 503? What is the departure time? Somebody said 1910. The 1910 is the arrival time at London. It's not the departure time. The departure time from Colombo is 12:55. Okay. Is it an 12:55? Am I clear to everyone? Now, tell me, is it a non-stop flight or a connecting flight? Is it a non-stop flight or a connecting flight? Okay, that's a non-stop flight. How do you find out that it's a non-stop flight? How do you find out that it's a non-stop flight? Yes, here you can see E0, which means that it's an electronic ticket having no stopover between Colombo and London. Okay. Now, this much is clear to everyone. Yes. Now, what type of craft is this? What type of craft is for UL 503? It's an Airbus. And how long it will take to reach London? And what is the total flying duration between Colombo to London? 11 hours 45 minutes. Okay, so this is the shortest flight which is taking you from Colombo and reaching you to the departing you and arriving you at the London airport. That's the shortest one. Okay, is that clear to everyone? All right. Now let's quickly move to the next part of this availability. If you understood these things, so now what all those and what all these means? Now, do you see this? There is a single alphabet, and beside that alphabet there is a digit mentioned. What does this single alphabet and a digit stands for? These are the class of services, or you can say this one as an RBD. So RBD stands for Reservation Booking Designator. What do we call RBD? Reservation Booking Designator. Okay, so I have entered in the chat box. Please copy that. Reservation Booking Designator. So these are the different booking classes for flight number UL 503. Now for UL 7405, what is the last? That means which one is the last class, or which one is the first class? That's an Oscar class. Okay. Now which one is the first class? That is a Jack class. How do you find out that which one is the last one and which one is the first one, and what do we call? So whenever you display any availability command and at the flight line search, that means this is UL 503, if you see at the right hand side, this is the lowest class of service and this is the highest class of service, which means Oscar is the lowest class of service and Jack is the highest class of service. Okay. Now, how do you identify that which one is the highest and which one is the lowest? So the on the right hand side, whichever is the class showing you is the lowest one, and the moment you move from the right hand side to the left hand side, the class of service increases and the price also increases, which means that in Oscar class there might be a different price, and in cubic class there might be a different price. So both the classes having a different price. Okay, not only the price, both of the classes have different restrictions as well. The airline provides different restrictions, and just because of this the airline has given you two different classes. Okay, the fares might be different, the restrictions might be also different. Okay, now you all tell me that in Oscar class, what is the digit mentioned here? It's mentioned 9. What does this 9 stands for? It stands for that in Oscar class there are 9 seats. Very nice, that's correct. In Oscar class, how many seats are there present there? 9. Now if a passenger wants to book you in the lowest class of service and passenger is total number of passengers are 9, so which class of service will you offer him? That's the Oscar class. Okay, all right. Now at line number 2, tell me what type of flight is this? Is it a non-stop flight, code share flight, then direct flight? That's a code share flight. Now if I want to know the that means which one is the operating carrier and which one would be the marketing carrier, so how would I know? What should I do to find out that? Yes, that's the one command, do and the flight number. Then there is one more shortcut page to find out that flight information. You hover your mouse on the flight number. The moment you hover your flight on the flight number, you, it will show you the similar display. Do you see this display? Yes, no? And now here it will show you the exact answer. So the Colombo to London arrival terminal is 3, and it's a video seat, and these are the different kind of instructions which is given by the airline. Here you will find out. In my training mode, it is not showing you the exact seat number. However, in your live mode, it will definitely show you. Okay, because it's my training mode. Just because of this, it is not displaying you here. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, so this is the way you can find out the availability for any specific day. Now, you all tell me, now passenger, there is a passenger in front of you, and he said that I want to go on 10th of April from Colombo to Singapore, but I don't want to go um I don't want to go in any kind of airline. Only want to go in a Singapore airline. So now, how do you search that availability as an airline specific? So the command, can anyone tell me the command? AN 10th April, Colombo to Singapore. Now, there is a command specific. Here is the quick reference guide. I hope everybody has received the quick reference guide. And if you want to search the availability for any airline specific, then how did you search that airline specific? You need to put a slash, and then you need to put a modifier A. A is used if here to specify that you are searching the availability with an airline specific. Now, after entering the modifier, you need to enter the 2-letter code of an airline, which is SQ. Press enter. Now, this will only display you the 10th of April, Colombo to Singapore, Colombo to Singapore in Singapore Airlines. Now, tell me, how many flights are showing you? That's only a single flight, which is on 10th of April. Now, tell me the flight number. 469 is the flight number, correct? Tell me the aircraft type. It's a Boeing craft. All right. Now, similarly, there are other commands which will help you to find out. Suppose if you want to find out the availability with any airline specific, so you can add maximum how many carriers that you can add in the availability command. Tell me how many maximum carriers that you can add. 6 carriers. And how would you do so? You just enter single time A and the 2-letter code of airline, then put a comma and another 2-letter code of an airline, then again put a comma, 2-letter airline code. And then you similarly you can add maximum 6 different carriers you can add, which will show you the availability for those only airlines. Okay. Similarly, if you want to exclude any airline, because there are my passengers comes who said that I don't want to travel on that particular airline. Apart from that airline, you can you tell me the airline's availability? That also can be done by entering minus sign between the A modifier and the 2-letter airline code. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? If I do, let's take an example here. What I'm going to do, I don't want to display the availability for 10th of April, Colombo to Singapore in Singapore Airlines, except Singapore Airlines. Other airlines will come here. Now that here it will display that there is a Sri Lankan airline as well. There is a Virgin Australia Airlines. There is an Air New Zealand also airline. So these airlines are also going from Colombo to Singapore. Is that clear? How do you exclude that airline? Similarly, if you want to just search the flight availability with a specific booking class. So suppose a passenger said that I want to book my flight into the G class. only this G class. Okay. So airline passenger has already informed you that book me into the GRBD. Now, how would you search only the flights available into the G class? How would you find out that one? So you need to do again the same here. Command should be going like the same way, and then put slash. Now here the passenger has again given you one more search filter if you are going to search the filter within class specific, you need to enter C. C is on a modifier which will be used to search the filtration within class specific. Now, only those flights will be displayed here in Singapore Airlines there who have the G class available. Now, see, now there is no flights available in Singapore Airlines who have a G class available. Now let's search for any other class. Let's search for M class. Now there is only a single flight which is available for the M class. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? Is there any question? Now everybody understood? Why did I enter C and the class booking RBD? Because sometimes passengers are very well aware about the facilities given by the airline in the particular class of service. For that, why are you going to just open all the classes of services if passenger has already shared you that book me only into that particular class of service? So you just go and search with the search given search criteria with a class specific, it will automatically display those flights in Singapore Airlines who have a mic class available. All right. So have you seen the difference? If I remove this one and I show you, so this will display me all the available classes. Okay. But if I want to display any class of service availability, then I have to use it C and the specific class of service. Clear to everyone? All right. Now, moving to the next part of search, that there is a cabin specific also search criteria. So now you all know that almost every airlines have two types. Okay, so you want to omit the airline and then you want to search with the cabin class of service availability. Afsa, is that, yes, you can do so. No issue. Yes, you can do so. So it will display only those airlines who have a G class available. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? All right. Now moving to the next part of, is there any questions anyone have till now? Please respond on the chat. All right. Now moving to the next part of the topic, that if you want to search the flight availability. Now, have you noticed if I search this Singapore airline, it will display all the classes of services. But how do you identify that which one is a economy cabin or which one is the uh, premium economy, which one is the first class, which one is the business cabin? How do you identify or how do you judge that one? So that can be done through again a modifier. So what you need to do, you need to recall the same command. Now again put a filtration here. Now here you are going to start with a cabin specific. So remember one thing to find out and give you the search result. Either you can search the cabin specific, because passenger is very much specific about any cabin, that please search me that uh, in only the business cabin. So how would you search that in a business cabin? Please search me. I don't want to go in a business cabin. I want to go in with a very cheaper class of services. So search me only in the economy. Don't go and search in the business class or business cabin. I'm sorry. So how would you go and find out the cabin specific? So like class specific, what modifier do you use here? Tell me. C. So like similarly, if you are going to search with a cabin specific, you need to use here K. K is also a modifier for a cabin specific. And after entering the cabin, you need to enter the single alphabet for any cabin. Suppose you want to search for a business cabin. Suppose you want to find out first class cabin. So then you have to enter a single alphabet. Suppose you want to search for any business cabin. So here you need, it will only display me those seats having a business cabin. All right. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to open the notepad and I'm going to make you understand here. So K is a modifier. K is the modifier. And suppose if you want to search only the business cabin, so you need to use C. If you want to search the premium economy, then W. If you want to search in the economy cabin, only economy cabin. Okay. Now, if you want to search the mixed economy and premium economy, economy and premium economy. All right. Now, the last, if we want to search within business, first class cabin. First class cabin. Okay, so these single alphabets needs to be entered with this K modifier. Okay, so tell me, if I want to search, or a passenger said, I only want to travel in the premium economy cabin. So which alphabet should be used in just together with this K modifier? KW. Okay, now this is also given in your quick reference guide. I will show you here. Please find out here. See, KF is used for the first class, KC is used for the business, KW is used for premium economy, KM is used for only economy. Now someone wants to search the availability within economy and the premium economy cabin. Okay. Now before moving forward to the next part of the command, I just make you clear that uh, almost all the airlines have two types of cabin. One is in business cabin and another one is in economy cabin. Okay, but very few airlines have premium economy cabin and the first class cabin. Like Emirates have a few airlines, Emirates few flights have in first class cabin, but almost every airline have two types of cabin, which are the business cabin and the economy cabin. Is that clear to everyone? So if you're searching the flight availability with a premium economy and then it will not show you any class of service, then it does not mean that the airline is not operating. It simply means that in that airline or in that on that day there is no flight available having a premium economy cabin. All right, is that clear to everyone? Yes, no, tell me. Okay, like similarly, if you can search the availability within different types, which is given here, you can simply make practice. I have already shared you the quick reference guide to you. Now moving towards the next thing if you suppose here the flight has been surged for 10th of April, okay, in Singapore Airlines business class, business cabin, sorry. Now, passenger suddenly changed his mind and said, okay, leave 10th of April. Can you just show me, can you tell me the availability for 11th of March also? Check whether the 11th of April availability or or, or 12th of April availability present here. How do you go and suddenly change that? There are two ways. Either you simply recall the previous command by pressing Alt button and press up key. So it will automatically pop up the previous command which you have entered. Or there is one more shortcut which will be used, which you can use, is MN. It's a scrolling entry in the search availability. So what will happen? It will only change the date. Okay, so now it is going to change the availability. Instead of 10th April, it will change to the 11th of April. See here, on 11th of April, Colombo to Singapore, the flight is not available. All right. Now, what will you tell to the passenger? Will you tell the passenger that there is no flight available for 11th of April? Now, might he tell you that, okay, please search for the 12th of April? Again, you do MN. Now, the moment you do MN for the in the same display, it will move and it will display you the availability for which date? 12th of April. Clear to everyone? So how do you go and search the that means if you change the date of availability to the next day, or a next to a next day, all right, you can do changes mn1 and n number of times. There will be no problem. Okay, similarly, if passenger said, please search the availability not for 12th, search for 11th again, then what will you do to search the previous day? My. It's the full form is move to yesterday, and MN stands for move to next. Okay, is that clear to everyone? MY means move to yesterday, MN stands for move to the next day. So understood about these two scrolling entries? Yes, no? Okay. Now, any questions till now? If you anybody has, please ask me. All right, now moving to the next part of this topic. Suppose now passenger did not say you to search for a 1 day later or 1 day prior. No, suddenly he changed his mind and he said, okay, search the availability, leave the 12th of April. Just can you search me, or can you tell me any available flight for the next, that means after 7 days of 12th of April, search me the availability, which means he is looking for 1 week next to the 12th of April. So how would you go and change the availability for any specific days? So then there is a command which will be used as an AC and the days that you are looking to change. So 7. So what will happen here? It will change the availability to the next 7th day. Now, can anyone tell me what will be the 7th day for 12th of, from 12th of April? What will be the 12th, 7th day? Yes. So it's very simple to learn, but it might be a problem for those people if there is a complex number. Suppose if it is a 16th or if it is 13th and passenger said add 17th day. So then that will be a problematic to just calculate, but the system will give you the exact answer if you type here AC 17. Now it will automatically add the next 17th day from the last availability display 19th April. Press enter. Now what will be the date? It's the 6th of May. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Tell me yes, no. Guys, just 1 second, hold on. Really sorry, guys. Actually, there was a call, important call. I'm sorry, really apology for that, for a long hold. Okay, so we were discussing about the availability. Now, somebody said that I did not understand how AC and the number entry appeared. Okay, what I'll do, I'm just going to again show you the availability. See, here I wanted to display the flight available for 10th April from Colombo to Singapore in Singapore Airlines. All right. Now, what will the search result display? It will display you for 10th of April, Colombo to Singapore in Singapore Airlines. Now, suddenly, passenger changed his mind and said, "Okay, leave for 10th of April. Can you just show me the flight available for 15th of April?" Tell me, how would you go and search that 15th of April? How would you search 15th April? Yes. So if you know that if you are going to add 5 days, that it will become 15th. But if passenger has already given you a certain date, so what will you do? You simply type AC. AC is the command and enter the date 15th April. So what will happen? This will automatically change the availability to 15th of April instead of 10th April. See here. Do you see here? So the availability changed to the 15th of April, and this is the availability. Now understood how this thing displays and how this thing comes? Okay. Aarti, I have already shared everybody's the quick reference guide. If you haven't received, please check your junk or spam email. However, at the end of the session, please share your email ID. I will definitely share it with you. Okay. Yes, AC5. If you do, suppose if I am doing here AC5, now what will happen? Tell me. If I only do AC5, that means I'm not entering any date. Okay, I'm entering only the days, number of days. So the availability changed to the next 5 days. That means it will add the 5 days extra, 5 days more from the last availability display. It's the 15th of April. So now if I do AC5, so now it will display you the 20th of April availability. And on 20th of April, the flight is not available. ACR is not used here because I am not asking you to change to the availability return. Okay, because ACR will only be used to change the availability to the return. All right, Saad. Now everybody understood AC, and here's the topic which is given in your quick reference guide. If you want to change the availability for a specific date, enter the specific date. If you want to change the availability day to 5 days ahead, so then use it 5. If you want to reduce the date as well, that means if you want to change the availability to the previous day, so you need to enter only a minus sign and the number of days that you want to go back to search that availability. Okay. It will not only change your availability to the number of days, it will change. And if you want to change the availability for a specific airline, that also can be done here. Suppose I don't want to search the availability in the Singapore Airlines. I want to search the availability for the same date, but the airline should be an Air India. You can do this way as well. ACAAI. So AC is, that means it's a command availability change for the same sector for the same date, because I have searched for the 20th of April. But instead of Singapore Airlines, I want to show the availability for Air India. So this is the way. A is the modifier and the two-letter airline code. Is that clear to everyone? Yes, no? All right. Now, similarly, if you want to change this origin destination, that can also be done here. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? Which one? Explain, Jessica. Again, Jessica, which one that I need to explain it again? Jessica, change the city of origin. So I have not explained it this. I just showed it to you. If you want to do this city of origin changing, suppose instead of going from Colombo, if passenger said that okay, change the origin city, AC Chennai. So what happens? The availability which he has displayed here. Okay, now instead of Colombo to Singapore, it will display you from Chennai to Singapore. See, I did it ACMAA. Now see here, Chennai to Singapore. Understood, Jessica? And the help is given here already. So if you forget the format, how to change and how to work, how to enter that availability change entry, you can go and take help at page number 7. Please note down, where should I find the availability change entry? Clear to everyone? Now you all tell me, this time if I am searching here the availability for 20th of April, Chennai to Singapore, or Colombo to Singapore, or Colombo to London. Now this is or can anyone tell me that what type of journey as of now I am searching here? It's a one-way journey because passenger is only going from a certain origin and it reaches to the certain destination. Okay, and this is a one-way journey. Now if you want to add one more set of a journey, instead of Chennai, Colombo to Singapore, you want to add one more city pair. That can also be done on a single screen through a single command, and that can be done through a dual city pair. Now, here is the topic given here. Suppose if you want to search the availability for return on a single display, then that can be done through the same command here. AN 10th April Colombo London /AUL. I only want to search Colombo London Sri Lankan Airlines. Now I want to display the return availability as well. Return availability means that the availability will display here on a single screen, return as well. So what I'll do here, I'll just put an asterisk mark. And after entering the asterisk mark, enter the specific date on which your passenger likes to return. Suppose I want to return on 10th May. That's it. So what does this mean? What does this command mean? It means that availability will be displayed for 10th of April from Colombo to London in Sri Lankan Airlines and return on 10th May. It will automatically change your return. That means London to Colombo in the same airline, but the date is 10th of May. See what happens here? The availability displays you here, Colombo to London in Sri Lankan Airlines. Do you see here? Now, if I scroll down, tell me how many flights are showing you for Colombo to London? How many flight line numbers are showing you here? 5. Now, just under the 5, there is another Amadeus availability, which is still Colombo. And if you see here, there is a flight at line number 11, which is from London to Colombo. And what is the date of return? It's on 10th of May. So which means, because there are a lot of passengers said, I only want to book my flight, I only want to create a PNR if my return availability will also be present, because I don't want to go and pay extra money, or I don't want to get a panic situation when I reach in London. So I wanted to make an onward as well as return on the single display. Please tell me that if there is any flight available for onward as well as return. Okay, so this is the way you can find out. And why do we say it's a dual city pair? Now, focus here. So this is Colombo to London. It's a one city pair. Okay. And then if I am searching here for return as well, so it becomes London to Colombo. So that's the reason it's a dual city pair. Understood? And just that is the reason topic is given here, dual city pair availability, which means if you want to search the availability for double city, that means two city pairs together on a single screen, that can also be done. Let's take an example. Passenger has requested that I want to go 10th of May, Colombo to Singapore in Singapore Airlines. And then my journey is extended from Singapore to John F. Kennedy. Okay, that means I want to go on that sector, Singapore to John F. Kennedy, on which date? Let's take 10th of June. So what will happen? This time it will display you the onward. That means first flight segment will show you the Colombo, Singapore, and the next will display you for 10th June, Singapore to John F. Kennedy. See? So on line number 1, it is displaying you for Colombo, Singapore. And at line number 11, it is displaying you Singapore to John F. Kennedy. Now, anybody has any question? If you have any doubts, please ask me. Hafsa, have you noticed what is mentioned here? Tell me what is mentioned here. Dual means, Hafsa, what does it mean by dual? That means two. So if you add more than one and more than two, then will it become dual city pair? It will not. So then it will become multi-city. So for the multi-city, there is another command. Okay. But here we are not searching the multi-city availability. Here we are searching that how do I search the dual city pair? Understood, Hafsa? Okay, if you want to again come back to Colombo, then you don't need to enter that sector. I did the same previously. I did the exact command which you are asking, Arti. See, here I did not enter the return segment. So what happens here? What does the system understand? That the system understand that okay, passenger is looking to return on the same sector, but for another that means for any other date. Okay, understood? All right, so this is the another way to search the availability, dual city pair availability. Hold on 1 second, my laptop got hanged. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, I think my laptop is hanged. Just 1 second. Let me. If I got logged out. So I would request do not leave this section. Anyhow, I'll try to join with as soon as possible. Okay, here. Now that's it from the availability display. That means how do I just search the availability by different ways I have already shown you. Now I hope there will be no questions yet. Anybody has any questions yet for the dual city pair availability? Okay, there is one last command which is a 7-day search here. Now here is the given topic, 7-day search entry. Now what is this search entry is very useful for all of you. Now suppose I want to search the availability. Let's take an example that passenger has given a date 17th of March, Bombay to Nairobi in Kenya Airways. Let's take an example that passenger has requested you to search the availability. Okay, now I did. Okay, no, not 17th. Let me change this date. Okay, 18th March. Give me 1 second. Let me find out a proper date, the proper sector. Okay. AN 10th March. Delhi, Dubai. Let's take an example. Delhi to Dubai in Fly Dubai. Okay, 10th of March, Fly Dubai. Okay. Now, passenger requested. Now, I'm just rephrasing my sentence. A passenger requested you to search the flight availability for 11th of March. Tell me the flight availability on 11th of March from Delhi to Dubai in the airline Fly Dubai. All right. Now, if you hit the command in the system, now what will the system give you the reply? Do you see any flight available on 11th of March from Delhi to Dubai? Tell me yes, no? No. Now, what will you tell to the passenger? So there's no flight. You can't go there on Delhi to Dubai. Will you say like this to the customer? All right. Somebody said that you need to then do it MN. So instead of doing MN multiple times, because it might be a possibility that on 11th of March, the airline is not operating, or it might be a possibility on the next day as well, the airline is not operating. So how many times you do MN? It's a tedious job to just do MN. Okay, so instead of doing this, there is a one more modifier which you can use in your system, and that modifier is called as a 7-day search modifier, which will show you the availability in the next 7 days, because you all know that there are 7 days in a week, and almost every flight will have or will operate with the 7 days within that 7 days. Suppose if any flight is not operating on Monday, so then definitely they have to, it has to fly on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, any one of the day of week, if that sector is operating by that particular airline. Yes or no? So instead of searching for the all 7 days possibility, you put slash just after an. What will happen if you enter just after an and then slash? The system will understand the logic that if there is no flight available on 11th of March, show the next available flight. Show the next available flight. So now, whatever the next date flight available, it will display you automatically here if the flight is not available on 11th of March. Now you all tell me which one is the next available date for between Delhi to Dubai. What is the date? It's the 12th of March. So the system automatically finds whichever is the available flight that will display. Now, don't you think that this command is very useful for in your scenarios? If any of the flight you search for a particular date, you didn't find any availability, and then you put a slash here, automatically show you the next 7 days search. If that flight is available within that 7 day of spam, definitely it will show you. Otherwise, it will not display. Is that clear to everyone? Yeah, tell me yes, no. Anybody has any questions till now? Now, an command will only display you the specified date availability, and tn command will display you the 1 week timetable. Clear with that both the difference an and tn? Any questions between difference between an and tn? All right. Now, quickly moving to the next topic. Let me see any topic left here as of now. Yes. Now, have you heard about this topic, which is um minimum connecting time? Have you heard about this topic? Have you heard about this word, minimum connecting time? Diksha said no. Princey said no. All right. If nobody understood, no, I'll just make you understand. So minimum connecting time, the word automatically suggests that if you are having any connecting flight for any particular airport, then each and every airport have certain restrictions, certain policies. Okay, and that policy has to be gone through by each one of the passenger. So suppose, let's take an example that if at the airport, Colombo airport, there is a policy that everybody has to be frisked outside the gate of the entry. Frisking process will be done outside the gate. I'm just giving an example. Don't take it as a literal meaning. I'm just giving an example. So definitely it will take some time to check and then enter into the airport. So, and let's take an example that while frisking it is taking almost 5 minutes to check one passenger. Okay, and there is a flight which is going to be departed from the Colombo airport. So that time also gets added in the at the particular airport for all the airlines, because there is a frisking process going on. So which I just simply wanted to tell you that at each and every airport there is a minimum connecting time to board the flight or to catch the flight. How would you know the minimum connecting time for any city, any airport? That can be done through a command which is DM. DM stands for display minimum connecting time. Okay, now if you want to know the minimum connecting time at Colombo airport, type this DM and CMB. What will give you the result? It will show you the Colombo airport minimum connecting time. Now, don't worry about to see this long display. There are a lot of informations which is not used for you, but however, I'm just going to make you understand that which all the informations are very useful for you. So here and at the Colombo airport, there is no terminal given here. That means there is no different terminals. Just because of this, there is no terminal information given here. If there is any terminal information, then under this TM, you will see the terminal number. Okay. Now you have not entered any flight information. That is the reason there is no flight information given here. You just generally want to know what is the minimum connecting time. So if any flight which is coming from domestic, let's take an example that there is an Hambantota Tota airport. Yes or no? And there is a flight which is coming from Hambantota Tota to Colombo, and then Colombo to some other domestic airport of Sri Lanka. Okay, there is a flight such a way. Now, tell me, the Hambantota, Colombo, and then other airport of Colombo, all of them are a domestic airlines, and all of them are the domestic passengers who are traveling within the same country. Okay, so if a passenger is traveling within the domestic airline and the flight is also in the domestic airline, what will be the minimum connecting time to catch that flight? 30 minutes. But if there is a domestic flight from Hambantota to Colombo, and then Colombo to, let's take an example, India, Chennai, okay, then it is a domestic to international. So what will be the minimum connecting time? 1 hour. Now see, there are two different airports. That's airport, if there is an airport Colombo and then BYV airport, then this is the minimum connecting time. Now there is another BYV CMB, then again BYV DGM, because this is a BYV to BYV, BYV to Colombo, and then BYV to KEZ Airlines. So there are different airports, and different airports have different minimum connecting time. See, BYV to RML Airport, domestic to domestic, minimum connecting time is 4 hours. International to domestic, 4 hours. Are you getting my point? Here is the airport between that airport, because in Colombo, there are different airports. Okay. Now let's find out any other airport, FRA. Let's enter the Frankfurt airport. Now, in the Frankfurt, again, there are different airports, Frankfurt to HHN, then Frankfurt to Frankfurt. That means in the Frankfurt, at the Frankfurt airport, there is no terminal given here, but if there is a domestic flight and when passenger is catching the next domestic flight, then minimum connecting time is 45 minutes. Now tell me, if there is a non-stop flight, if there is a non-stop flight, so then do you need to check the minimum connecting time? Tell me yes or no, because it's a non-stop flight. But if there will be any connecting flight, then you need to check the minimum connecting time. All right. And if the itinerary is already ready, and if you want to check the minimum connecting time, then you need to perform command DMI. DM and the airport code or the city code will used to find out the minimum connecting time between the airports which are listed in this particular city. Is that clear? Do you have any questions for the minimum connecting time? Diksha? Now, there is a there are two different airports in London. One is London Heathrow, and then there is an LGW airport. Now, if you want to know the minimum connecting time to board at the particular airport, then you need to enter DM and London and this LGW airport. Now tell me, if a flight is domestic to domestic, what is the minimum connecting time? 2 hours. And if it's a domestic to international, international to domestic, international to international. For all the types of airline, this is the minimum connecting time which is given. However, there is one more line given here. Check specific carrier for exceptions to the standard connecting times, because this is a standard connecting time given. However, there are some other airlines and there are some other flights who have their different timelines, or there are different minimum connecting time. For those things, you need to check with the airline. Okay, and for that, you need to prepare the itinerary, which we will learn today, and then we'll find out the minimum connecting time. All right, understood? Somebody asked me a question on the chat. Let me see what is the question. DMI. DMI is used once the itinerary is ready. That means once you have created a PNR, now you want to check whether the minimum connection time is okay to catch the next flight or not. For that, you perform DMI. So now that will give you a message, itinerary okay or itinerary not okay. This type of message will be displayed if it is itinerary okay, which simply means that there is no problem with that catching the next flight by the passenger. Or if there is itinerary not okay, then you need to check the minimum connecting time, and then you need to change the flight timing. All right. All right, now moving to the next topic, which is very much important for you. That suppose there is a passenger who comes to you and he's in very emergency and wanted to go for a certain destination. Okay, and you have searched that there is no such flight available for that sector, but passenger anyhow wanted to go. Have you come across that such way? Have you come across that type of passenger? So they said, I anyhow wanted to go. Please send me via any route. But I wanted to reach to that location with that particular specified date and time, or any certain reasons. For that, there is a command which is given here as in display the connection point, because you don't know that for a particular sector there are other connection points, there are other airlines or airports through which the passenger can reach to the particular destination. And that can be done through DRT, display the connecting routes for Colombo to Singapore. Here you will see the other connections through to reach Colombo to Singapore. I'm sorry. Passenger can reach to Colombo, Singapore from Colombo via Kuala Lumpur, via Bangkok, via JKT, via Malé, via Chennai, via this airport, via Trichpally, via Trivandrum, via Cochin, via Doha as well. The passenger can reach here. So this is the use for you to understand that DRT is the command display connection points. Connection point means to reach to any particular destination. What are the possible routes? Suppose there is no flight available via Kuala Lumpur. There is no flight available via Bangkok. But there are some flights. There might be some flights available via Trichpally or via Trivandrum or via Cochin. Okay. No matter what, it is taking you the maximum time, because it is taking you to reach Singapore at 6 or 10 minutes. So you can tell that. So the flight might take you 6 hours 10 minutes. If passenger will go to Singapore via Doha, then what will be the um, minimum time to reach Singapore? 12 hours 40 minutes. So this is the minimum EFT time, estimated flight timing. Okay, and this is CX1. CX1 means connection number 1. So there might be connections, 4 different connections as well. Because if passenger want to go from here Delhi to some different part of the European countries, or any Western country, so there is no direct flight. For that, you can find out the different connections. Let's find out the way. DRT. I don't know that there is a direct flight coming up from Colombo to Paris, but I just simply search Colombo to Charles de Gaulle, Paris. Now it will tell me that how the passenger will go to reach Paris, that means CDG, Charles de Gaulle. There are possible ways through London, through Doha, via Frankfurt, via Dubai, via Istanbul, via Abu Dhabi, via Muscat, via Bangalore. So these are the possible connections, and these are the minimum time to reach to the destination. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Now, all right. That's it from this topic as of now. Now, is there anyone who has a question from the previous topic which we have discussed? If there will be no question, so let's take a small break of 10 minutes. It's 3:25. So everybody be back by 3:35, and then we will start uh, making the steps of PNR, and then we'll move to the next topic. Okay. All right. So don't leave the session. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Again, once we start the session, I will share the screen. Break is still 3:35.